It is your time now. Your time to change, to step in to your most embodied, highest version of yourself. To shed the old like a sexy snake. Shedding skins. Shedding the old ways of being, the old ways of thinking, the old ways of doing that no longer serve you and or maybe never serves you. And to really put in the work to invite in with intention and to step into this new, improved, wise, powerful, empowered version of yourself. The process is not meant to be rushed, but it's meant to begin. Because right now, we as a collective of human consciousness are at a very important inflection point where a great split is occurring. The split is that of a split within consciousness and a split that's happening in every aspect of our life. Within this split, we are all coming to this same crossroads where we have a choice. If we're going to choose to walk the path of the Christ, or if we're going to choose to walk the path of the Antichrist. Every decision we make determines which path we are taking. So even for those of us that might be feeling lost and overwhelmed and confused about like, oh my God, there's so much shit happening on the planet. What do I do with myself? I just don't know what to do. It's too much. And then as a result, you might end up finding yourself choosing to look the other way, pretending like it's not happening, the chaos, and numbing yourself in some way, whether it's with food, substances, Netflix, sex, whatever it is. Many people find themselves in that place, and you can't blame them. We're not taught how to human in school. We're taught how to become indoctrinated little robots in school. We're not taught how to navigate our emotions, how to navigate the chaos, how to step into our power. It's something that we have to relearn and remember by going within. So when you find yourself at that place where you already have the awareness that something needs to shift within you and within your life because you are very unhappy and the way that you are going is unsustainable. But there's so much more for you. You've got a purpose. You might not know what it is yet. You might have forgotten, but it's there. You have this fire in you that wants to be embraced and embodied. But you don't know how to start embracing and embodying it. And you think that, okay, by me choosing nothing and just choosing to stay the same, having awareness, but like not really doing much with that awareness and just staying in this same place, unknowingly, you're actually choosing the path of the Christos, of the Antichrist, the path of separation, of detriment, of deception. And you are actually giving your power away to those same forces that have intentionally created that path. Because when you don't reclaim your power, someone else is going to take your power. If it's just like out there and it's on a plate and it's not within your body and within your energy, someone else that does not have good intentions is going to see that your power is just out on that plate and is going to be like, oh my God, free food, free power, free energy that someone else is not embodying. Let me eat it. Because these forces, these fallen angelics are parasitic. They are feeding off of us. That's why it's so chaotic. They feed off of the chaos and the pain, right? Our society has become extremely antichristic. And we know that because of the war that's happening, the suffering, the constant pain, the deception, all of the horrible stuff that's happening indicates that. So if you are ready to start reclaiming your power and walk the path of the Christ, it means you got to do the heavy work. You got to face all aspects of yourself and love them. Your shadow, your wounded ego, your ancestral baggage from other lifetimes, and knowing that they all show up and influence your current state, whether you are aware of it or not. In other words, you're being invited to start your healing journey, because when you heal yourself and start to walk the path of healing, you become a healer and you start healing the collective, because everything is energy, right? When you are not living your most empowered lifetime and not stepping into your power and just doing nothing, essentially, and avoiding, in that constant state of avoidance, you are actually feeding into the problem through giving your power away and not being embodied and being disempowered. And that energy is going into the grids of the earth and feeding that belly of the beast, feeding those dark technologies, feeding that fallen presence that wants your life force energy, because you're not reclaiming it or stepping into it. But when you step into your own Christic power, you reclaim it. You remember that you are a multidimensional light being, that you came here for a reason. You have been training for this lifetime for many lifetimes, knowing before you came on earth that it's a shit show. It's crazy, but it's also beautiful. I mean, look at the nature. It's very phenomenal. There's ups and downs to everything, right? But when you start to walk that path, and when you start your healing journey, it's not all love, light, and unicorns. You're going to face your demons. You're going to face the deepest, darkest parts of yourself and of society head on, because there's no way to cheat healing. But when you start walking that path, you get to learn more about yourself. You get to remember what lights you up, and you start creating that ripple effect with every person that comes into your field. And everywhere you go, you leave that resonance within the planetary grids. And you start to feel more fulfilled. You start to feel more empowered as you reclaim your power, your strength, your love. And you start to grow. You start to step into your dream life and your dream self. And by the time you get to the end of your life in this form, whether if you choose to ascend with your body or drop your body, you get to look back on this life you've had and say, I truly lived. I truly tried my hardest. I made the most out of my life. I experienced the highest highs and the lowest lows. I experienced what it's like to truly be human, and I tried my best to help myself, to help humanity, to help the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, to help the planet. And I am satisfied with myself. I love myself. And then you can ascend and move on to your next embodiment. Whereas when you choose the path of stagnancy, of being enchained and in chains, by the time you get to the end of your life, you look back in horror and the deepest pain, looking back at like, wow, I never lived. The last time I lived was when I was 8 years old, and I freely was riding my bike and felt free, and my imagination was full. But then after that, through school, they told me that I am nobody. And I took those chains. I internalized everything I was told, and I lived my life as if I was nobody, when in reality, I am someone. And I never got to know who that someone is. And I regret that. And then you die, and into your next lifetime, you become stuck into a reincarnational pattern here on earth, and you bring that same baggage. And if you choose not to awaken within your next lifetime, you'll keep repeating the same patterns. You can only break the patterns once you open your eyes, you wake up, you're honest with yourself, and you are willing to do the work, to heal the hurt, to feel the hurt. And feel everything, the highs and the lows, learning to discern between what is yours and what is not. And then you break that cycle. And by breaking that, you help your ancestry. You help break those ancestral curses. And you become your most embodied self, able to ascend and fulfill God's source's original intention of getting to know itself again, through ascending back to source with incarnational memories, with the memories of the highs and the lows you experienced. Whereas when you stay stagnant, you lose more parts of yourself. And it's truly not stagnancy, it's more of an imprisonment, where you are giving more of your power away. You're becoming more fragmented until you can only return back to source as space dust, because you've given all your power away to forces that don't have the best of intentions for you, and you've lost yourself. Don't get me wrong, space dust is still sacred. It's not it's not any more sacred or any less sacred than returning to source whole, okay? It's just that you will not feel satisfied within yourself, and you will never know what it's like to truly live. The choice is yours. I'm simply the messenger. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. But if you want to really help, start by helping yourself. Start by stepping into your highest timeline. Do the work. And if you ever need help, I am a spiritual life coach. I'm a soul purpose coach, a soul embodiment coach. I work with people who have the willingness and want to change their lives for the better. They want to reconnect with that spark that lights themselves up and do the work to get to know themselves again. Peel back the layers of all the conditioning and the bullshit, the onion layers. Come back home to themselves and remember what their purpose is and step into that purpose. I do have quite a few spaces that just opened up, so hit me up. My website is in the description. Leave a comment if you are interested. You can say, I'm interested. Or you could say, thank you, or whatever it is you want to say. But regardless, thank you for receiving this message. We love you, honor you, and respect you for all that you are. Hugs and kisses.